So I've zoomed in on these club faces now, but you can see on the left-hand one just how that club face now is. I mean, you think where the sort of toe of the club is there. I mean, your kind of top part of your driver now is over there, which if we sort of rough take a sort of a 90 degree there, that's aiming almost at the corner edge of the mat there. So everything else in terms of your setup there is looking really good. You've got a nice bit of spine angle tilt. It's getting yourself behind the golf ball nicely. Your lead arm and the grip and the club all in a good line, okay? It's just the fact now you've got to see a little bit more of the red. And the thing with the drivers, I don't know whether you knew this, the face of a driver actually sort of bulges out. So the middle part of the driver is actually effectively this way, and it goes that way. Not much to the naked eye massively, okay? But if you sort of look at it down there across the face, there's a small element you may see. But the idea that is this bit here and this here and the toe, it's called roll and bulge. If you want to get into, you can Google roll and bulge technology. Basically, when you toe a golf ball or you heel a golf ball, the ball strikes the toe of the club, it will deflect the face open, so the ball will start right. But because the way the roll and bulge works, the ball will spin back to the middle of the club face, so that almost like it's going to sort of attract to the centre of gravity. It will start right and then draw back. Hit a heely one, it will close and do the opposite, start left and cut back. So that's why when you hit toey shots or heely shots, they tend to curve in that certain way. And that's why the club face, obviously, they know the club is going to turn in left. So if everything is equal and the club face starts off straight and the path of the golf club is square into the golf ball, if you do happen to toe it or heel it, it will still end up in a reasonable position, okay? So it's the biggest thing, as we said, for you is going to be trust, yeah? I mean, in terms of some of the stuff we've worked on with the swing, I mean, we're not looking down the line in much at path. We can see a good rotation there with the shoulders, very sort of stable with the head down the lower half there, moving that club behind you nicely. It's not getting too far behind, which is something you discussed last time you were worried about. No, absolutely fine. And then coming back in the golf ball now, you can see head staying nicely behind the golf ball, lower half shifting towards target, back into impact. Everything in a good line there, heads behind the golf ball, and then a nice release of the arms here through the target up on that left side. It's a very, very, well, based on the shots you get there, very good functional, effective swing that's going to hit the ball a long way. The biggest thing I'm going to keep it is the trust issue. It's just sitting that club face down and going. I mean, when you first did that, you sort of looked at it and said, "Are you joking? That can't be square." Exactly, yeah. And that's the thing. You'll go on the golf course and hopefully on holes where there's not so much danger, right? I mean, the first on the max, not fairway. Second on the max, not ideal. Third, you're all right, I suppose. Fifth, not brilliant. Sixth, you lose a ball. Seven, you lose a ball. Nine, you're okay. If you can sit the club face down, straighten every single one, and then from that position now, because you're not looking down at the club and knowing, okay, it doesn't look left, it actually looks a bit to the right, you're going to hopefully confidently be able to release everything now to target, because your path and the angle of the club are better. Your abilities to release and square the club face up are massively improved. And then because you're not going to be fear hitting one to the left, and you even said yourself, more of my bad shots now go to the left. Well, as daft as it may sound, if you look at that club face, it makes sense as to why most of your shots are going left, because you're coming back with almost identical impact position to what you're on the right-hand one, just a club face aiming, I don't know how many degrees left or right, that's probably a few 15 degrees, 10 degrees left of target. So, I mean, at the top edge there is certainly forward quite a bit. So you come back to golf ball, you're striking it well, the ball's just going to go left. Unless, of course, then you try to manipulate it. And that's what we saw. And as I said, I think the fifth or sixth swing you made, you got it going to target, yeah? It took those little micro adjustments to make to find a 280 yard or 270 yard straight ending up shot. But the first four were like 40 yards left, 30 yards left, 20 yards right there. So if that's on a golf course and your first four drives are so wide, you're losing a golf ball. Realistically, the fifth drive's not going to be that good because you've had so bloody picking up losing golf balls or whatever it may be, mentally you're shot to bits. Yeah. I mean, if you start around a golf and you go like 3 lost balls in the first 5 holes, your swing's not going to suddenly go pick, and then on the 60 just nut it down there 280 dead centre. You're going to be like, oh, there we go again, and they'll be all over the place. So start building into that setup. Get the club down square. And again, I think you said before you aim at a spot in front. Yeah. So aim at that club. Aim this club at the target in front of you first, and then build your body around that. Okay. And sometimes just for like, I think the more you see it and the more you kind of look at that club and go, okay, that's square, and you trust it, the better it will be. So what you can actually do is get home in the living room, right? I mean, put something on your couch on the floor and something, maybe on a club on the ground or just something you can aim towards. Put the driver there and just make a tiny, tiny swing. We're talking maybe go back a foot or two, so you can't really manipulate the club with path, and just see when you hit that ball, where's the ball go? So if the club face is square, you only go back a foot or so.
Straight.
Exactly. You can't slice it over that 2 or 3 feet. So set up against the sort of corner edge of the sofa and just go, okay, boom, and just see where it goes. If it goes square to target, you know, okay, that's what square looks like. This is what starts the ball online. The more you see that, I think the quicker you'll gain that trust. I said trust is like anything. It takes time to develop. If you met someone for the first time, you're not going to trust them instantly with a lot of money or a lot of whatever. And if you saw them 3 times a year, you wouldn't suddenly trust them massively after 3 times. But if you saw them every day, you go, okay, yeah, fine. You build that trust up quicker. Yeah. So if you can do a little tiny sort of drill there, just put a little something on the floor there and just basically hit putts off a tee bag, so it looks the same, and just hit the ball back and forth across that, so you learn what. And I think from you see more the red part of the club face. Yeah, that's the thing you're looking at. And you've got a bit of a reference point now to look at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Makes sense.
That's great.
Great drives, mate. Fair play. Good stuff.